Question number 3 today is, when is the closing date? How long will it take? The question of closing date is spelled out in your contract and is agreed to by the buyer and the seller. Up until this year, late last year, early this year, we were very commonly seeing most closings happening 30 to 45 days from the day that the contract is executed and agreed to. There are new regulations that were put into place last fall by the banking industry, federal regulations, and the bankers now have more hoops to jump through prior to closing to get those deals closed and funded. So most closing dates today, as of this year, late last year, are 60 days, 45, 60 days, somewhere between there. And that gives us enough time to get everything in order and close on time. The purchase agreement is written that the closing date will be on or before the specified date. Moving the date can be difficult. I am not a big fan of changing the date multiple times. After all, we are putting people in moving trucks and preparing legal documents. We're working with schedules for probably 2 real estate agents, a closing agent, an attorney, a buyer and a seller, their family, their movers and their helpers. So moving closing dates around in a real estate contract is something that you want to do as early as possible if you're going to do that, and you want to make sure that all parties are aware. I do have a lot of buyers that buy homes and really want to get it closed in a couple weeks. That is very difficult, and I do not advise trying to push too hard on this issue. I would pick a realistic date, a reasonable date, and try to stick to it, even though I do understand why everybody involved would want to get the transaction done as quickly as possible. There's nothing funner than getting a real estate transaction closed. I mean, that's the end of it, and the buyer's in their new home and the seller's on their way, and the transaction is consummated and it's a happy day. But moving that date around can cause stress, and it can create friction and disappointed, upset clients. So I would say pick a day up front that everybody can live with, that the lender is comfortable with, and stick to that day, and you will have a happy closing. If you have any more questions on this issue, when is closing, when should closing be, feel free to reach out to me, Aaron Bircher, 712-212-7553, and I'll be happy to help answer any of your questions. Thank you.